All right, Streaks, we're going to have a debate of the century, a civil, friendly debate between me and TVC.
Oh.
We're just going to talk about our feelings about Stolitz. I am hyper team Blitzo, and she is team Stolas. But,
The grave.
Oh my gosh. This is just meant to be like a fun civil debate, and if you guys want to agree or disagree with us in the comments or have your own team Blitz, team Stolas, that's fine. But where we're coming from of an understanding, at the end of the day, it is just a show. This is just a fun time to be like civil haters. Just don't personally attack anyone over like we're probably gonna get emotional and like heated, but like it's just for fun. It's just meant to be fun.
Yep. So,
Okay.
like, please do not send hate to anybody. We are grown women. We understand where we're coming from. We respect each other. And in that respect, we're going to yell at each other lovingly.
Lovingly, as I put you in a loving headlock. Lovingly.
Lovingly as I choke you to the ground. And how dare you side with that red salamander?
How dare you stand by that seductive, sedative owl? Lovingly. So I think it's fair to start off the debate of where we're coming from. Everyone on my channel knows where everyone knows where I stand, but TVC, let's start with you.
Okay, so my channel, ironically, is a mixed bag. I have like Blitz supporters, even though I try to purge them, but they remain because I try to sometimes be civil towards Blitz, even though it hurts me to my core. But I am 100% team Stolas because I see everything from his perspective, and I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. People who support Blitz come more from that side of life and can see things more from his perspective, and people who see things more from Stolas' perspective have either been in that situation or are kind of privileged and also don't understand the nuances of the situation he's in. So, yeah. And also pretty privileged. I think we need to throw that out there.
I mean, pretty is such a strong word, but yes, I see.
Shut up. Stolas is way more attractive than Blitz. I will die on this hill.
Then die.
With pleasure.
Okay, that makes sense. I feel like a lot of Blitz supporters feel that way too. Especially Blitz coming from a lower class. Motherfucker literally started from the bottom. Now he's here, and he's not perfect. He's not like a model citizen, but he definitely scrapped his way up to the top. Not the best upbringing. Heck, no one had the best upbringing in this show, probably except for Millie. But I just feel like I am like team Blitzo, like how I am kind of team Mammon, because he was in his bag. He wanted the book. We don't have to talk about how I'm down bad for Mammon. That's a different time for a different topic. But I am supportive of Blitz, of him trying to secure a bag for him, his daughter, and his employees. He's just trying to make an honest living in a not so honest way. It's giving Aladdin. He's scrappy, and yeah, he's done a lot of. He's due to his own traumas and past life experience and some stuff that arguably was not his fault, like with Fizz. That whole thing was an accident, and he just blames himself for everything. He lost his friend / crush, his relationship with his sister, his mother, his father. Probably wasn't even on the best terms with dad in the first place, but the whole world turned upside down and just turned into like this creature who needed quick hits of dopamine and like just dating and sleeping around with every living creature in hell as possible just to feel a worth. And when it got too serious, in my interpretation, how I see it, Blitz just pushes others away before they push him away. So he'd rather be the pusher than the pushy because he's already been pushed away as much as from everyone. So that's how I see it.
No, see, this is where I have to say, I understand that. Respect you, boo boo. Oh my God, you've been through so much. Why does Stolas have to suffer for that? You are a shitty person, yes, but why does my baby have to be dragged down with you? Be shit on your own. Leave him alone. He has enough on his plate.
Can I ask? Like you ask, why does Stolas have to be dragged down? Why is Stolas dragging himself down with it? Because Stolas No, because when you think about it, Stolas, I understand from his perspective, not that great of an upbringing, sheltered, spoiled brat, but like naivety aside, he
Mhm.
could never want for anything. He was just a very lonely child. He never had any real friends or
He
whatnot
wants
until
love and affection.
he does, but we're gonna get into this later. I argue he confuses love with lust, and I need people to understand where I'm coming from when I make that point. But Stolas, to me, he's literally digging his own grave. Like even Stella said so him like himself with the whole sleeping with an imp and pursuing this imp and neglecting his daughter for this imp. I'm never letting go of Lululand. Fight me. He was supposed to spend the day with his daughter, and I was like, oh, okay, that's nice. Spend the day with your daughter. That's nice. That's nice. Reconnect. But oh, gotta get Blitz in there. That's like taking your side piece out with your teenage daughter and you're paying all the attention to your side piece and not the daughter you're supposed to be hanging out with. And he didn't
Okay.
realize that until the very end of the episode.
Okay, I can give you that. I think it was your tweet or something where you were talking about how, oh, Blitz is a better father than Stolas. And my immediate
Yes.
reaction of being a Stolas supporter is like, no, how dare you? Wait, fuck. They're right. Like I can admit Stolas is fault, contrary to what people believe. So yeah, Stolas is a shitty dad at times. The show doesn't do him any favors in that regard. Even when they were supposed to go see the stars, he forgot because he was so focused on Stella. But by that, I will argue, Blitz coming into Stolas's life has ruined this man's life by 150%. Because if the jury will remember, Blitz broke into Stolas's house. Oh shit. Literally, the wind just blew my curtains
Oh,
open.
well,
The
yes,
fiery
he.
passion behind my statements.
Oh, that's so. I love it. Dramatic. Yes, Blitz did break into the home. I agree. And he single mindedly wanted to get the book. It was just all for the
He
book. If things went
seduced
his
him.
way, all right, here's the part where it gets kind of tricky. They kind of both seduced each other, but Blitz was more so playing along so he can get closer to the book. If I, he tied down Stolas and just get the book. His intentions was not to sleep with him, but he gave him a pity night because the whole, oh, I've always wanted to be wanted by somebody and it's my first friend. And my theory, my little headcanon, even though it's probably not true, but my little thing to make it make sense to fill in some gaps is that because Blitz had the same kind of feelings towards Fizz, his first friend and possibly crush, and it didn't get
Ooh.
reciprocated and it didn't fall through. So that's why he gave Stolas a pity night. And I know everyone's gonna say like, oh, but it wasn't a quick second. He was there all night. Yeah,
The
yeah, he was there
sex
all
was
night
good.
because he was there all night because Stolas was a repressed gay man for like the past almost 25 years. He had a lot of freak in him.
I think some people are guessing Stolas is around 35 because if he had
Mm-hmm.
Octavia as soon as he turned 18 and Octavia is
Mm-hmm.
17, the
Mm-hmm.
minimum he's 35. So he had 35 years of repressed freak in him, as you said.
Yeah, that's my conclusion. I don't think Blitz stayed because he fell in love or anything. That's a mega no off the bat. But just because Stolas had a lot of repressed freakiness to get out, and like he is a freak, and there's nothing wrong with being a
And
little freaky in the sheets.
And something I also think people are Blitz has slept with a lot of people. We know that he has a body count.
Ooh,
But for whatever
yep.
reason, he's really into what he and Stolas had. Because in the recent episode, for those who don't know, we're recording this right after what's the name of the dang thing? I forgot.
Apology tour.
Apology tour, thank you.
Mhm.
Blitz again broke into his house and he's in a person's house who is screaming at him to get out, and Blitz is like, no, we must have sex. And it's like people could interpret that as Blitz really wanting to earn the book, but I also feel
Mhm.
like Blitz kind of enjoys it because he was really harping on that. Oh, a good fuck will be like an angry fuck will be good right now, all that stuff. And it's like
Mhm.
you're coming on really hard. And the initial interaction they had, Stolas read their interaction wrong. Miscommunication. We fucking hate it. So Blitz
Mhm.
Stolas is reciprocating what he saw Blitz give to him, and then Blitz is thinking, oh, this is all he ever wanted. And it's like, no, you're both fucking idiots. I hate you, but fuck. This dynamic is so toxic that the fans can't look away. And I don't know what kind of witchcraft Vivian has put on our audience that we're so invested in this couple to such an unhealthy degree. But it's a good kind of bad. I don't even know how to explain it.
It's not even a will they won't they. It's like we know they will, but it just feels like it's kind of dragging it out for no reason. But I will counter argue that Blitz coming in and demanding sex, I'd argue that that's, aside from like killing, that's like the only other thing he's good at. To him, killing and sex are the only two things he's good at and he succeeds at and wants to prove his worth towards. So if he can't kill Stolas, because he's kind of immortal and his weapons won't do the job, the next best option is to sleep with him because he wants to prove that he's worth
You
that
can't kill
book.
him.
But he can get hurt.
Oh, okay. So as someone who's a Blitz defender, I really need to ask, why is it that Blitz can't accept the no that Stolas has been telling him? Like, yeah, we know that they're meant to be together, and after Full Moon, Stolas kicked him out. Why is Blitz continuing to come back, even though this character has told him, look, whatever happened, we're just not meant to be. We're oil and water. Let's just go our separate ways. But Blitz can't let him go because he knows how good of a catch he is. Therefore, Blitz is in the wrong. I rest my case.
No, Blitz can't let him go because again, as someone who's been pushed away by so many people, I felt so proud of Blitz towards the end of like Full Moon, where he was standing his ground and he was not about to get dismissed, and he barged right back up to that rich Pris Bird and demanding to talk, demanding to have a better understanding. And I liked that. He got pushed away by so many people in his life, and
No,
he's
he
usually the one
pushes
who
people away.
Yes, but in the past, when he was in the past with like Verostica, Fizz, and whatnot, he got pushed away by so many people, and he pushes others away. Someone else pushing him away, especially someone of Stolas' status, to me that reads as like the camel on the straw on the camel's back that he was not taking it, and I was right there, girl. You go, girl.
You know what? Okay, from that perspective, it's actually kind of powerful, but it's also sad because, again, the dynamics, the way Blitz
Yeah.
communicates to Stolas hurts Stolas because Blitz yelling and asserting himself, we're like,
Boo-hoo.
yay, go Blitz. But for Stolas, that is literally the last 15 years of abuse from Stella. She yells
Cry
at him,
me
she
a
kicks him.
river. Yeah, sorry.
Excuse me. We're supposed to
Cry me
cry for Blitz, but we're not supposed to cry for Stolas. The hypocrisy, just because he's rich.
Yes, but listen, I understand too that we're not so. I understand that we're not supposed to pick sides, but when you tell me that both sides have done wrong, I can't. And when the narrative, especially at the end, and especially with Apology Tour, I can't help but feel like the narrative is very heavily in favor of Stolas being hurt, and no one is acknowledging like, yeah, Blitz did some bad stuff, but like Blitz's perspective, he's just been getting used for his body the whole time, and this whole thing with Stolas from season 1, it was always about sex. So when Stolas said like, "Oh, Blitz, you only ever bring it back to sex. You never really cared," because like you started it. You made it about sleeping with you, so why the F would he think otherwise? You're
Are
both
we
terrible at communicating, but you suck, Bird!
are we forgetting when Blitz literally when Stolas pulled back because Stolas was talking about his friend, I have a good memory. Blitz literally yanked him on the couch and was pushing his legs aside. And as you said, this is a repressed gay man getting like sexual interaction for the first time. I will literally I don't even know how to describe it, but Blitz basically solicited sex to try and distract Stolas to get the book. So whoever is at fault for it being all about sex, I will say is Blitz. But
Oh
because now Blitz,
no.
no, wait. But now because
Okay.
Blitz no longer needs the book, he doesn't even bring sex up. But now it's embedded in Stolas that, oh, is this what a gay relationship is like? Because he doesn't know. I think it also, you know how they say the show kind of relates to Brandon Rogers' real life interaction with the queer community. I saw that as a queer man not knowing how things are done and him
Uh-huh.
thinking, oh, this is how it is. So Stolas constantly bringing up sex is because that was his legitimate first introduction to gay sex from Blitz. And now Blitz no longer brings it up and only Stolas does. So yeah, when Stolas says that you always bring it back to sex, I'm like, X to doubt their chief, but I can understand why the wires are a little crossed in your head there.
Mm-hmm. That's a really good point. I don't know. I really don't know anything about Brandon Rogers, like at all. I didn't really watch. I never watched any of his stuff. This is like the first time
Honestly,
I've
same.
heard him. But like that is an interesting perspective. I never thought of that for Stolitz. That's very interesting. That like especially in the gay community, people always just think back of like, oh, you're just a bunch of sexual deviants, and that's kind of like what
Yeah.
Stolitz has
But it's like they didn't
become.
they're expressing their puberty of quote unquote sex at like 20, 30. So they've had, like you said, years of backlog to experience this. And I think that's
Mm-hmm.
what's happening with Stolas. He's getting his freak out, and by apology tour, he's kind of exhausted that tank, and now he's like, huh, I want something more. But Blitz is who has been gay and freaky for years. He's like, you've already trained me, quote unquote, to expect all of this. Why are you acting brand new?
I I see that, but I find issue with like him wanting, just vaguely saying I want to be wanted by someone in apology
Oh,
tour. It's
that
like
was so romantic.
it is soap opera, and even Blitz says that that's a rom-com, and like his vision of love is literally based on television. And
And
you
the
know,
book he reads.
yeah, Imps in the Sheets.
Yeah, the books he reads and everything, you can tell this is a person who has no real world experiences. And Blitz is like, look, I have all the experience and I can tell you this won't work. You're a rich prince and I'm a nobody. But it's like he just wants to be wanted, and that just broke my heart.
Understand he wants to be wanted, but I feel like Blitz is not the answer, nor is he the solution. I feel like Blitz is
He's not
being
the
gas.
answer.
He's not the answer. I feel like Blitz is somewhat being gaslit and manipulated into being in this, being like an end game for these two, when Stolas should be with someone whose relationship was not based, did not start in a basis of like a coercion of physical intimacy. He should just be with someone who would want to be with him and not obligated, or just because it's just, I I get it's messy. It's a toxic, messy kind of thing. The mess kind of lost
Okay, I can actually
its.
agree with that. I can actually accept that
Mhm,
that Blitz is not the answer for Stolas, because
mhm.
unfortunately the show has written them to be so chaotic that the best thing for them is to just go their separate ways. But fuck it, the
Yes.
show is saying that they need to be together. Might as well make this work. But I personally do believe that Stolas deserves someone better. You might not think it's better, but Stolas deserves someone else. And Blitz,
Blitz
therapy.
just I thought he was getting therapy. Like from the first episode, they were talking about therapy. But I agree. Blitz deserves someone. I think Blitz just deserves some time with himself to figure himself out after having
He
so
needs to
many.
learn to love himself.
Exactly. That's what I want for him before he starts getting back out there into dating, just to take some time with himself. Solus needs to get with somebody else, and Blitz just needs to find himself. But I know that's probably not how it's going to end. And so far, the show is not convincing me why I should even root for these two. I'm just I don't want them together
Oh
at
my
all.
god, we found common ground. We don't think they
Uh,
should be together. Oh
like
no.
I don't feel bad for Stolitz losing Octavia, because Octavia actually has every right to leave because she's been feeling neglected. She's like 17. She barely knows any magic from the book, and from what little we've seen of her, she might as well not even exist, and just she's just kind of a prop to be there for an extra. Aw, look how upset Stolas is. Aw, he had a wife that was dragging him for years, and aw, he also had a daughter. But we don't talk about how that affected Octavia, now do we? From Octavia's perspective, the family's been fine and hunky dory
But the
until
thing that I
Stolas ruined it.
the thing is, Octavia isn't engaged to be married to anybody to continue the bloodline, because I feel like Stolas probably put his foot down with that, which again, it's off screen. We have to infer information. But
Mm-hmm.
Octavia had such a different life. Like you said, she doesn't even know any spells from the book. And
Mm-hmm.
Stolas was given the book at literal, like at 4 or 7 or something. So
Yeah.
we see Stolas trying to break the chains of his own upbringing, but the sad reality is he's still repeating a lot of what his dad did to him. He's not emotionally aware of Octavia's feelings until shit literally hits the fan. And as a lot of people like to argue, oh, apology tour was dragging Blitz through the mud, I feel like the narrative likes to make fun of Blitz, but the story or characters like to really antagonize Stolas. And from what we're gonna see, there is gonna be a Stolas dragging upon us, and I am so not looking
Finally,
forward to it.
I'm
I am
here
going to
for it.
cry because it's
I'm
gonna.
getting popcorn. I have been waiting for this fucking day.
Because from what we even see, Blitz's life is better now. I even pointed it out in a recent video where if you look at the calendars, Blitz's calendar is full. He's meeting Fizz, he has days to hang out with Luna, all that stuff. But Stolas's calendar is literally empty. He doesn't even have days to hang out with Octavia because I think Stella is monopolizing all the time with her. And I do believe that's a plot point of the show trying to show us he's a good guy, but so now the story is going to come crashing down where they have this courtroom. Oh, you gave an imp the book, you neglected your family. Like, consequences are probably going to happen, but I don't want them to happen. His life already sucks. What more do you want to take away from this man? He had nothing.
Everything.
He had
Everything.
nothing. He was given a shit wife. He created a semblance of love with his daughter. This imp came in and forced sex on him, ruined what semblance of peace he had. Now all of that is gone, and you want to drag him even more? Excuse me? Why?
Okay, Blitz did not force him into anything.
Oh god. Okay, he didn't, but Blitz was the one that came and ruined his life. Stolas was having an anniversary. If Blitz didn't show up, he still have Stella, even though he wouldn't want that, and he still have Octavia. His life would have still moved forward. It wouldn't have been as upended as he is now. He is more alone now than he was, which is saying something.
Yeah, but when you also think about it, if not for Blitz coming like back for the book and that whole incident happening, whether we wanted it to or not, Stolas finally divorced Stella, and he's losing stuff, but at least he won't be tied to Stella. Which for the matter, like he could have, if he could have divorced her at any time and it didn't seem like there would have been an issue, even though they're royals. That just sounds like, why was he sitting on his cloaca and not doing that sooner?
I think you're trying to say that look, despite everything that happened, Stolas divorcing Stella is a net positive for
It's a net
Stolas's life.
positive for him.
And
Yeah.
and this new Firebird, Vasago or whatever, people
Mm-hmm.
are already seeing that okay, he's probably going to be a new love interest. We shall see, because apparently, Andrelphus is gay from that whole Pride poster that was uploaded on the official Helluva Boss side. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, then why wasn't Vasago married to Stolas or heteronormativity in hell? But okay,
In
because
royalty,
because
because they had to produce an heir.
true, but what's that? My mind is breaking right now. What's that word? Artificial insemination. Can't they do that?
Oh, good point. They could do that. I mean, they have cell phones. They have modern technology. I don't see why not.
Imagine if the reason why Androphus is pissed is because he wanted to be with Stolas, but his sister was there instead. Now he wants to just ruin Stolas's life vicariously. I don't know. Let them make it something repressed and gay. That would be interesting.
It's all just becoming a melodramatic soap opera. Remember when this show was about imps killing humans?
Ironically, I was reading about that. People saying we want to go back to the good old days when they go up to Earth and kill people. But when you look at the statistics, the episodes where they do that are among the lowest ranked and worst performing episodes. Like Happy Campers, people despise that. Now others argue it's because of the writing. Some say no, we don't want to see that. I feel like the people who are here for the melodrama outrank the people who are here for the wacky killings.
I would counter argue that the last time we saw them do a job was like, if you want to, if you count Truth Seekers or Cherubs, that was like episode 4 or 6, and between then we
Yeah.
had 7, 8, season 2, episode 1, 2, 3, 4. It's been like well over 5, 6 episodes, and this stuff, animation and such takes time. So it feels like those episodes, like Cherubs and Truth Seekers, came out about 2, 3 years ago, and we just now got another them doing another job 11 months ago. So it's been years, and because they haven't been doing the premise for literal years, and again, I understand indie animation takes a longer time, it's not a streamline, but because it felt so that distance between time, and that's why I feel like it's just fallen off, because they took a whole different direction. It's been like the Stolas sad boy hour. Moxie has a mobster father. Stolas again. And then even after Unhappy Campers, it's like the Fizz show back to back.
Well, I can see that. But even if I remember, Truth Seekers was highly rated back then because of the
Oh yeah.
action and the choreography. Because you can fault this show for anything, the
Mm-hmm.
animation is not one of them. And
True.
it was really cool. But when Unhappy Campers came out, it was just like people are like, ugh, what's this? Why are they doing a job? And I'm like, that's the premise of the
That's
show.
the
I don't like
premise.
I don't like Unhappy Campers either, but like I don't mind. And now we're gonna have Ghost Fuckers coming out where they're gonna go and do a job again, and we're going to see Blitz in emotional turmoil. We love to see it. But
Huh.
I hope people give it a chance because
Yeah.
anytime Stolas doesn't even show up in this show a lot. He has a lot of episodes where he's just missing and people scream, "Where is he? Where is he?" And I'm like, I love Stolas, but even I know that we have to be with the main core cast. It's almost like they want Stolas to replace Blitz, ironically. Like they
Ooh.
wanted Moxie to replace Blitz at a point, but now Moxie's arc or whatever is kind of complete. He's no longer the needy, whiny crybaby. So
Uh-huh.
now they just want Stolas to be in the foreground. Because before we had Stolas, people were hating, or yeah, hating on Moxie because, oh no, Moxie and Millie doesn't have a character. Blah, 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 blah. But now the story has shifted to Stolas and Blitz, and people have forgotten that this fandom has such a short-term memory problem.
Yeah, because the episodes, again, due to time, it takes time for them to come out, and they're not jumping off week to week and such. But it's also like whatever, like the crew or even Viv herself tweets out, or even just harmlessly liking something that's enough for adding fuels to the flames. And I just don't like it. Everyone just gets everything coagulated and just offset everything and just misconstrues or misremembers, because the
Yeah,
episodes are just so different now.
like people literally sit down and rewrite history of, oh well, Blitz is 100% wrong or Stolas is 100% wrong, to the point that the crew had to come out and remind people, no, both of them are fucked up.
Okay, I'm seeing more I'm seeing more proof of Blitz being in the wrong. When does Stolas get dragged? Where's the Stolas like KYS shirt, huh? I did not like that. The merch of like all that anti-Blitz merch, that's not that's not cool. If they're gonna do
Okay,
that, at least have some Stolas anti-Stolas merch too.
okay, so the thing with that is that you have to remember that the crew is heavily inspired by shows like Family Guy, and that apology tour 100% read to me like a Family Guy episode where a lot of the jokes are being said and they don't want you to think too deeply about it. Because yes, Blizz has such a high body count, and people are like, oh my god, why are we dragging Blitz? I'm like, hello, are we not seeing the literal piles of bodies before us? It's not realistic. It's whatever. And it's like, even Blitz himself admits he has a past. We're seeing him in his better current version. And yeah, the scales are skewed where we see a lot of Blitz's fuck up, unlike Stolas. But that's the problem when you're the main character. You get all the focus. The crimes of being the lead, unfortunately.
Yeah, he gets all the development too, and I feel so upset how we know more and have connected better with Fizzaroli and Osmodius than they even Moxie and
Honestly,
Millie at this point, and freaking Luna, who's just been absent a majority of the time. Oh my gosh.
I think that one is more fans obsessing over those characters. So we see a lot more fan content. And like you said, between months of it coming, like at this point on my Twitter, I see so much Alistair and Angel Dust and Alistair and Lucifer. I think I've gaslit myself into thinking they're the main characters. I was like, no, no, no. Charlie's there. She's not there a lot, but she's there. So the same thing is happening with Helluva Boss, where fan content is making us see characters differently. And yes, when Fizz and Ozzy came in, people were like, me included, bulldoze these other guys. I want to see a full show with Fizz and Osmodius. Give me more of that. A healthy couple in hell who communicate. It's like the show is
What
teasing us.
are you there for?
No, they're teasing us. They're showing Fizz and Ozzy like, oh, we can write a good, healthy couple. This is what Stolas and Blitz could be if X, Y, and Z. And I
Yeah,
felt like that was kind of aftercare. They showed us Fizz and Ozzy just to alleviate some of the drama because it was getting too much.
I can definitely say wholeheartedly, season 1 is very different from season 2. Season 1 did follow its premise and it had interesting setups with like the payoffs that like the payoffs of the cherubs coming later and dorks coming much later and striker coming later. They had a great, and even with Veroska too, they set up a lot of good stuff with season 1, but cherry picked the stuff for some either stuff because fans wanted to see it or it was actually part of the original plot and idea and just put it in there for season 2, and season 2 just became utter, just feels like fan fiction.
Yeah, I can actually agree to that, but this is where my quote unquote knowledge of things happening in the production side of things comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
Because with season 1, the writers were Vivian Medrano, Adam, and Brendan Rogers, as I mentioned. Now, Brendan, I think you know he has this huge popular career on YouTube. I didn't watch his stuff, but him and Viv are friends. And apparently, Viv came to him with the show and kind of like said, "Hey, I want you to voice the main character." And as he joked, she also told him just write half of it. So season 1, he had a heavy involvement in it. But then by the time we reached season 2, he had to step back so he could focus on his own YouTube career. And that's when people said, "Oh, that's when the quality dropped in the writing because half the writer is gone." And Brandon was the lead writer because Blitz is Brandon at a point, and he
Mm-hmm.
has more knowledge of gay relationships and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
now he's given most of the reign to those two, Adam and Viv. So you can see what happened. I think some episodes now Viv is the only one writing them, which I don't mind. I love Viv's writing. She was one that wrote Mamon's Magnificent, the Mamon one basically. She
Mm-hmm.
wrote that one herself, and this apology tour, she was also the only writer. So again,
Oh, I could tell.
I like her writing, but I can tell you have different opinions. So you can tell, and people also said the comedy in season 2 kind of dropped because in season 1 there was a joke a minute, again, Brandon's style of writing, and season 2
Mm-hmm.
is different. Now, he's still involved in the overall story, but he's not involved
Mm-hmm.
in the like episodic writing. And again, nobody like hold me to this, don't pin me to a cross. TVC said this. This is all like speculations and things you can infer from following them online and just looking at the credits.
Mm-hmm. I think with yeah, I make no secret that I did not care for how Apology Tour was written because it was a lot of showing and not very much. No, it was a lot of telling, very little showing at times. Like the
Like I said,
message.
was given Family Guy and Simpson, which is a huge inspiration for Viv. You can say
Family
that's out of
Guys, but they don't show and tell all the time. Like with those shows, that I feel like I don't need like for an adult show. It feels like I'm getting constantly. It feels kind of patronizing.
she went to school for animation, not writing.
Rarely. Now just sound mean. Sorry, but I will say it. Those episodes do have their good points here and there, and like Viv does have a strong point in comedy every now and again. But
You like the Maman episode. Like I can't believe you like Maman, and I think Maman is like her baby. So
I
there's
like
that.
mom. I like Maman. The episode was okay. It just felt like I was watching an entirely different show. But yeah, it was okay when it wasn't
Yeah, I
like
think
all
a lot of
this
people like to
drama.
say, sorry, a lot of people like to say the show is Tumblr coded.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I don't use Tumblr a lot, but as somebody who does, can you like explain to us what people mean by that?
I'll be honest, I'm just freshly new to Tumblr as well, but from what I can tell and just scrolling through Tumblr, aside from the stereotypical Tumblr sexy man, ha ha ha, it's giving very trope heavy, very one-sided relationships, very bad guy gets it real bad, haha, good guys win on top, hooray. And like you could say that that's like basic story writing, but like that's very, it just feels kind of generalized storytelling that I could fit that into any box. And with at least that particular episode, the Mammon episode of Helluva, that's kind of what it was.
Well, yeah, I don't use Tumblr a lot, but I can understand the Tumblr sexy man argument. But people now are saying that, oh, they really prefer the pilot concept that if Stolas was a full villain, he was the
Yes.
antagonist and all of that. And I'm like,
Yes.
I see more problems. Already Stolas is a woobified fanboy and people don't like it. Imagine if Stolas was actually the villain and he was like forcing a relationship on Blitz and all that stuff. And then afterwards he comes to regret his actions and then he dates Blitz. People would scream grooming, manipulation, and coercion to high heaven. Like people don't have enough media literacy to accept that type of relationship.
And to be fair, people are already screaming all that, but like with okay, walk with me, sit with me here. I've seen little mini fan comics of evil Stolas, and that's the toxic yaoi I actually want to see, and
No, don't get me wrong.
it's
I want that
beautiful.
too. I want that too, but I don't trust this fandom with that concept.
It's okay. It's all a matter of execution. I think it's just kind of going downhill from what people want. Everyone wants to see something nice and sugary sweet, but like a dark twisted Stolas would be very interesting. We could even still have like a evil Stella too. Sure, why not? But
Like they're
like
both bitches.
the most sympathetic part from Stolas, he could have been like a more sympathetic villain because yeah, he does all this evil stuff and bad things with to and with Blitz, but he actually has a heart of gold and an actual heart of gold. And when it comes to showing his care for his daughter, and that could make us as the audience realize, oh, okay, he's just very like deprived, but he's not completely a monster. He's evil, but he's not a monster. He has some humanity because he loves his daughter. And somewhere along the line, he could realize that with what he's doing to Blitz isn't right. And have that humanity, have that character arc of switching it around. We could, but at that point that's a whole different show. It's not
Yeah, yeah.
imps killing humans. It's the soap opera evil guy. It's like Beauty and the Beast in a way.
Basically, I think the original premise was the imps work under him or something like that. So, like,
That would be fine.
Stolas has Stolas has a tie to Blitz. So Blitz is like working for Stolas against his will, going up to Earth and killing people, and then he comes back down. Basically, it would have been Angel and Valentino, and the show would try and tell us, you know what, let them date each other. And that would have been, oh God, the nuke that would have gone on. Like you said, it's all about execution. But I
Mm-hmm.
do believe because Angel Dust and Valentino exist, the show can't boldface do that. Because
No.
imagine like Stolas was like a coup. I'm gonna age myself. Aku from Samurai Jack. He's
Yeah.
this cartoon Disney villain. He kills people without remorse. He's a demon. He doesn't care. People summon him and kill people, and he uses like the IMP to do that. But on the side, he also forces a sexual relationship with Blitz. Now, Blitz, the show might try and show us that he doesn't like it, like it currently does, but secretly he does. And through their missions, this evil Stolas is getting more and more invested in Blitz. He comes back beaten and bruised. He doesn't like it. He's more careful with the missions he gives them. He treats his wounds or whatever, slowly falling in love with him. And then over time, I don't know, again, Blitz falls for the asshole who's manipulating him. And I don't know, I'm not a writer. I'm just spitballing here.
No,
But that
no, because you actually spitting, because like that sounds beautifully tragic, and like it actually is like the toxicity that should have been like that's a great way of executing it for this toxicity because it started out toxic and it was becoming a mutual thing and you see glimpses of it, and I like that. Ugh.
and Stolas is also a bitch to his wife, and everyone is like, "Oh my god, let them just divorce already." And Octavia is this toxic child, but through the missions and Stolas hanging out with Blitz as his employee, and he sees how much Blitz cares for Luna, he also starts caring for Octavia more and more. The divorce happens, but the problem I have is how would we accurately be able to convince the audience that Blitz likes this evil Stolas without it being a form of manipulation and coercion? Because he does have all the. Already, people are screaming power imbalance. In that
Yeah.
case, it would have been an even bigger power imbalance. So you could say
Yes,
maybe
but
Stolas loses the business, loses everything. Now Blitz is in charge.
Yeah,
Eh?
okay, hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. Blitz might not like what he has to do to secure his bag and like therefore his employees' bags if he was to work under Stolas, but because Blitz, he likes to feel like he's a top dog and like superior and like feel like not superior, but like he just wants to feel himself. He wants to be like, top the shit. He feels like empower it's kind of like it's like a power play. And that's another thing we can dive into like the kink community, like power playing dynamics, like he
He
might be a
feels
low
powerful because he's the face of everything.
he would feel powerful like dicking down a higher up like being like he's a lowly peasant, but
Oh.
he's able to make this high royal grovel at his own knees. That is like, do you know how much that would be so good for someone who's a dom, someone who's a power top,
Yeah,
yeah,
like in
power dom.
public, Stolas is the evil asshole. He's a dick to everyone, but when they're in the bedroom, he's just fully submissive to Blitz. Ah, my
Yes,
God, the potential.
that is some spicy ish right there. I would eat that up.
Vivzy Pop, give us a budget. We'll give you such a good show. The gays
Like
will love us.
like completely like if we had it our way, it would be spicy, and that's where we can get some actual like convolution. They're both
Revenue.
in the right. Yeah, both in the right, both in the wrong. It's messy, it doesn't feel right, but to them in the moment, still
And
Blitz
people
knows.
love a messy
Ugh.
story.
Yeah.
People love messy. Like I like how people like to say, "Oh my God, Helluva Boss is this edgy 18 plus show," and I'm like, "Yeah, it is, but it's PG 18 in the most
it's
vanilla way possible." I'm sorry, they could have gone
it's
so much more deeper. Have y'all
especially on
seen
the
the fucked
internet.
up shit that happens in Yahweh? Like true, you are
Oh
going
yeah.
to hell type of Yahweh and
Oof.
Yuri because they're both equally messed up.
We went from an experienced gay man writing the show to Fujoshi's writing the show, and that kind of tells you something.
Stop.
No, no, because the other side, because people have brought up. I've heard I forget what video I watched, but it was a good like point. If all this was happening in Helluva Boss, the current Helluva Boss, and if Blitz was a woman, Blitz calling like seducing him as such. If Blitz was a woman, everyone else would be on high guard. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but also the same thing could be said if people are like, if Stolas was a woman with the Stella thing, because people like to argue Stella wasn't
Yep.
abusive, she wasn't gonna hit him, and I'm like, shut the
She
fuck up.
literally went for it. She like actually went for it though.
It's the delusion.
It's rewriting history. It's you seeing what you want to see. Stop reading fan fiction of the fan fiction. We're losing the plot, people.
Honestly, we lost the plot from episode 1. We're not killing people anymore. We're forced to watch this gay romance that's on fire, and we're here, the audience, saying, please work this out because the time investment.
Yeah, that's what keeps me invested. It's just so much time. It's like I gotta see how this ends. I'm very curious of how it's all gonna end. But I would be I will forever be mad if they never bring up the fact that Blitz was bought by Stolas' dad. And like I understand Stolas is like in his own little fantasy realm right now, little prince on his pedestal in his own little world, not realizing, oh, those lesser than him have to actually scrape to get by, like not realizing like, oh yeah, when you and I first met, like wait, you're and like if he didn't know that, that's fine, that's also cool. If he didn't know that, that would be a great plot point to dive into. And Blitz making that apparent, like your dad bought me for your birthday, and like, oh my gosh, so from the get-go our entire
Wait, does Bliss know?
relationship. I think Blitz would know because he
I
knows he
think
didn't want
Chaz,
to
no,
do
not
it.
Chaz. Buxo told him. He said they paid good money or something. I think Blitz
He's
knows.
Yeah, Blitz knows, and Solus doesn't know because of course he would know. He's like a child, and is
Mm.
like because imagine the drama and the turmoil from that. Their entire relationship, even before the whole book thing, when he came back 25 years later, has always been transactional.
To be fair, the whole first attempt of Striker was brought back up. I don't even think fans knew that that was a plot hole. And the collective gasp from the audience of, "Oh my God, that's right. He doesn't know the first attempt." I believe something similar will happen because we saw a flashback of Buxo or whatever, the Cash or whatever they call him,
Yeah,
in one
Cash.
of Blitz's memories. I
Mm-hmm.
think child he will try and say something to Stolas, or Blitz will say it like, even, like you said, our first interaction was paid for. So you can't blame
Mm.
me for constantly thinking our relationship is transactional. It was literally what started everything. And
Yep.
I pray that's gonna be brought up. So because if they can bring back the first assassination from like
Mm-hmm.
episode 4 or 5, I hope they can bring this back. I think that's the
And
thing with the show. They're telling the audience to have faith in them. And so a lot of people, you included, just don't have faith.
yeah, and even I was really hoping for a lot of development, like from Veronica and more insight of like her relationship with the Blitz. And I didn't get much. I got a little bit more information than I knew now, but I just feel like, man, that was such a waste. Like
Oh,
she's not.
but the anti-Veronica crowd. Oh my god.
Because they're aunties. She had every right to be upset with Blitz. Blitz, I think she's holding that grudge a little too close and for a little too long. But for a
Mm-hmm,
succubus to
mm-hmm.
declare her love to an imp, like her love in general, like, is that not controversial? Because she's a succubus.
Exactly. Exactly. Their
Like,
whole
ah.
deal is to pork and have fun. So falling in love is almost antithetical to what they are. So for her to fall in love with you and admit it, and for you to break her heart so callously, like, come on, dude. And people trying to say that Veronica is this, that. Like, you see, guys, we can get an anti-Blitz person to also admit Blitz's fault, but
Mm-hmm.
literally, Veronica did nothing wrong.
She did
Yes,
nothing.
she held that grudge for a little too long, but that just shows
Mm-hmm.
how hurt she was. And it's also another point of how much Blitz doesn't realize people care for your dumbass
And
when you
that
just see it yourself.
and you hurt them, like you hurt like everyone that was at that party tearing up pinata shaped versions of you, digging into a cake that looks like you. They at some point cared deeply enough for you, and they cared enough still to come to a party that celebrates hating you every fucking year. It's like that hurts. That must sink
Yeah,
like a rock.
yeah,
Damn.
yeah. But you do have a point. The end of the episode where Wally Walkford is just such a shill because all the merch at the party is I hate
Mm,
Blitz or Blitz sucks. He's the one bringing merch saying KYS Blitz, and I'm like, oh come on, Wally. That's where it was like, okay, you're going a little too far. But with the Stolas thing, I am so afraid because if this is how hard they beat down Blitz, and Blitz is their golden child, I feel like the show loves Blitz. What will they do to my boy when his time comes?
I'm I'm here for it. I'm ready. I have a hankering for chicken.
Fuck you.
They're Stolas community. They're there. They're there. Now you know how it feels for your man seeing dragged.
He's been dragged from day one.
Not a solicitor.
Oh my god. Wow.
Well, any final thoughts or hopes for the future?
I hope they don't drag him too much. You know what? If they don't drag him at all, I will tank this show likes to protect Stolas. I will take that. Please wear kid gloves when you go after him. Please.
You know, maybe in hindsight, I was thinking about taking another crack at my like Stills is a terrible character and terribly written, and here's why. I might do a video of like looking back at Stolas and what's more. I think once season 2 is done, I'll make a was I wrong about Stolas? Probably.
Ooh, your audience is gonna love that. They'll be like, wait, has she been replaced? Are the aliens coming?
No, later I did an April Fool's joke where I'm like, "Oh guys, I love Stolas. Stolas, I'm his #1 fan." It hurt my soul so much, even for a prank. I couldn't even do it with a straight face.
Oh my god,
Because
that's
I'm,
hysterical. But I'd love to see that.
yeah, I'll give another fair shot. Even though maybe in my mind I thought I was being fair to Stolas, even though I didn't like him. But I'll give it the old college try. I just this upper crust. Oh, it just sounds like you hate him because he's rich. Because I do. I'm sick of. I don't like that he's a poorly written rich guy where we're supposed to sympathize with him when he doesn't even acknowledge the imps around him, like his servant, like Pringles. Like that guy gets put through so
His
much
name is
ringer, and
Pringles?
I think that's what the fans name him, or I don't know. I heard that's his name.
Well, I think that's the problem. A lot of shows want to put a sympathetic rich guy, but they don't know how to write a sympathetic rich guy because unfortunately people aren't rich.
The thing is, it's so laughably easy. You just got to make him very sympathetic and aware of like those lesser than him. Like make it like the princes in early Disney, like Prince Ariel's prince. I forget his name, but like he was so
Eric.
down to earth. Yeah, Prince Eric, he was so down to earth and working with like the commoners and like just make him seem like one of the people, even though like, oh, I have princely duties to uphold, but like he goes out to the orphanage and like reads to the orphans and spend time with them, making me want to care about Stolas.
If Stolas did that, people would cry the story is just making excuses. Because with Eric, like you said, he actually is on the ship in the first opening credits of the movie. The ship is going down. He's still out there, like trying to wrestle the ship from like going under. He's a man
Mm-hmm.
of the people. But I'd
Mm-hmm.
counter to that Stolas is more like Prince Charming from Cinderella, a
Ooh.
sheltered boy in a giant castle. But unfortunately, he's gay. Now, with Prince Charming, he's able to talk smack to his dad. His dad is like, I want a wife. He's like, well, sucks to suck. I want to love her, you know? So I see Stolas as more of a Prince Charming, but unfortunately, he got married to a horrible wife and his dad is neglectful. So Stolas is just a cocktail of bad things. And like you said, if just a little bit better written, could have just been a symphony of just people going, yes. But unfortunately, the show wanted to make him like problematic like Blitz, but in doing so, you make him problematic, but you don't make him acknowledge he's problematic because he's a Disney
Yeah.
prince. And
Yeah.
I guess
Like
those two things just don't jive.
I think they wanted like a way of making him sympathetic was with Octavia and showing that like, oh, he reaches out to Octavia when she was a baby and how she was crying for mommy and dad, and he showed up and he sang that song and he was like really sweet. But like over the years and like I
The
don't know,
problem
trying
is
to
people
reconnect.
don't know how bad Stella is in comparison because we have never seen Stella and Octavia interact. So people are just saying, okay, Stella is the
Right?
better parent. But we're like, we don't know. We
We
don't even know
don't
how Octavia
know.
feels about her mom. We know how she feels about her dad, which is really
Yes.
annoying because
Thank you.
when you went missing, Stolas was the one who came looking for you. Stella didn't even know you were gone.
Well, of course she didn't know. She was like got kicked out of the house and getting her stuff, and she was like, "Don't you turn her against me." Like maybe she kind of cares, but who knows? But I'm so glad you brought that
After
up when
no,
she
no, no.
ran.
After that call, Stella should have actually, if she cared, because she heard her in the background. She's like, "You're turning my daughter against me." After that call, why didn't Stella just call her? But again, they were both on the phone just yelling at each other. And Blitz called Stolas to tell him his daughter was missing. Stella did not check up on Octavia at all that whole day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. As a
So
purse.
we
Sorry,
just
go ahead.
need to see if they could show that Stella truly doesn't care because she called her daughter that egg at their
Mm-hmm.
anniversary. Literally, I don't think Stella even recognizes Octavia as a person. She's just like, "You're my kid, so I guess you're supposed to be around me." And I feel she keeps Octavia away from Stolas as a way to hurt Stolas, not because she cares about Octavia.
That is a
Her
good point.
brother her brother literally implied killing Octavia, and Stella was too busy with murderous intentions towards Stolas to even register that her own child is in danger.
It's like such a nothing burger with those women. I swear.
Sadly, Vivzy Pop is not beating the badly writing women allegation. I'm sorry.
I can't, for the life of me, I cannot tell you about the women of Helluva Boss without having to mention the other people in their life, especially the men. And okay, people are gonna look at me sideways when I say this, and put it out your mind and perception and bias that like it's a preschool show. Doesn't matter. A well-written show is a well-written show, especially if it appeals for all ages. It appeals to all ages. My
You're gonna say
Little Pony.
Bluey, aren't you?
No,
Okay.
no, no, no. My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, is a great example on how to write female characters because look at the
They're
main
all
six.
women.
They're all
They're all
women,
women. You can't fuck up an all female cast.
but hear me out. I can describe to you every detail and like motivation, the goal, the drive, the flaws of each of the main six without even mentioning their relationship to each other. And I can wholeheartedly tell you about each character without their relationships, and then later if I tell you about their relationships to each other and how they interact with each other, that's good character writing. They're a great
Counter.
Emma. good character writing there.
No, I say, but counter to that, the men in MLP try and describe them not relating to the women. Go.
Big Macintosh is big and he helps. Okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, fair.
Even
That is
shining
fair.
armor. Even shining armor, you could say he has a daughter.
He has a
but
daughter.
Cadence
He's a
is
wife. He has a. He's
he's a
the
male wife.
captain. He's a captain of the Royal Guard. He has
Oh,
a
he's
daughter.
Twilight's brother. I forgot.
And Cadis's husband / captain of the Royal Guards. That is fair, and that's kind of the problem with like shows that are targeted towards little girls.
Yeah.
They do great jobs with the girls and the female
I'm pretty
characters,
sure
but
people forget
lacking
he's
the men.
Twilight's brother. But that's like you said, that's the thing. So with My Little Pony, it's all girls, so they don't even have a male lead. So you can even say, it's fine. But with Helluva Boss, fair. I forgot about him. He's a child.
Yeah, he's learning.
But with again, Helluva Boss, Spike has way more development than Millie, unfortunately.
True.
But I do like these new shorts that they have. People like to say, "Oh, it doesn't count," but they did a really good job with Millie and Sally Mae. Sally Mae is a fan favorite, and she has no ties to a man. So Luna also doesn't have a tie to a man, and we know the reason why she got less lines is because her voice actress was going through stuff. So there's still hope.
There was also that, but I think it's just circumstantial. It was actually because I think her name is Erica, as the voice actress.
Yeah.
Because Viv didn't write anything for Luna at the time, and I think to save money or some shit.
Oh yeah, so the timing of it is weird because the initial statement was, "Oh, she didn't write anything for her because of the budget." But then it was later revealed, because people are attacking Erica, that no, Erica is going through some tragedies. And so the timeline of that, people don't know which came first. Did Viv say she has less lines so she could allow her to grieve and mourn in peace? Or
I kind of heard the other way around, that like she had less lines in the season because like how could there would have been no way of them predicting that even happening, even if they could write around it. At that point, the script have already been written and the lines have already been recorded.
True. But also don't forget, she also had that hate mob come after her for no reason about AI.
Yeah.
So just a lot of shit just happening to this poor woman for no reason. Because I do believe the episode, the one where Stolas gets kidnapped, where Luna is just growling, you could see where the growls could be replaced with dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
So it could, again, be either or. They could have run out of budget. But then again, if you ran out of budget, wouldn't it make more sense to cut Millie's lines than Luna's? But again, Luna is the dog, so they could just give her growls. You know what? Indie productions, they do what they can.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, we just cut out the M&Ms in general for an episode. Like, they weren't in Apology Tour at all.
True. I don't want to say they're running low on budget. I feel like they're making more money now than ever before. And again, growing pains. These are literally a bunch of Tumblr artists who just got the bag and are making a show. And I have so much respect for that, because if you gave me money right now to make a show, let's believe it will be shit, but it will be entertaining shit.
Right. It's like, at the end of the day, whether it's a good show, bad show, it's making us talk about it. Like, everyone has made hours to hours of content about the show, whether how much they like it, whether how much they hate it. The show gets talked about, whether you like it or hate it. It's something to chew on.
And I feel like with Helluva Boss, you can see some of what they learned seeping into Hazbin Hotel, which unfortunately Hazbin Hotel has a lower budget. And I think because of what they learned from Helluva Boss, they were able to tackle it. Now, yes, and the problem all these shows have that people hammer on about is the writing, because people like to say Hazbin Hotel is rushed. I have ADHD. I don't register it. But rushed or not, you can see that this project that they're doing for free is helping them make better projects with Hazbin Hotel, because for the entirety of January and February, nobody will shut up about that show. I liked it, so I didn't mind, but I know some people who are genuinely fed up with hearing about Hazbin Hotel.
There, I feel like we've been hearing about it for literally decades, even though it hasn't. But that was just the pilot itself that shocked the internet. But
that was just a pilot.
Yeah, Helluva is a quote unquote accessible. I wouldn't call it a free show. I would call it a very accessible show because it's on YouTube. But the merchandise, like every episode after at the towards this tail end of season 2, they're putting out more and more merch. I used to buy merchandise, so I wouldn't necessarily call it free. It's a fan funded show.
Ugh, those who have money, disposable income.
Disposable income show.
But yeah, the show,
Yeah.
I feel like they're ramping up in production, which is something that other traditional animated media is so lacking behind. Like these people released a short about Millie and her sister, and they were able to read merch, and I think they even sold out. They are running circles around established companies, and they're even fucking up.
Although I do kind of worry with the amount of merch pushed out frequently, it makes it feel less special. And just the artists that they have, like, like I think there's one artist who designed all those Valentine's standees and stickers. Like, I feel like the workload could have and should be more divided up.
But I think there was also drama with that because the artist
Yep.
decided to draw Mammon clothed, and people were like, "Why? This is fat phobic." It's like, excuse me, Mammon doesn't want to show skin. He's not a whore.
Everyone in this show gets sexualized. Damn it! Where's the fat folds? I want to see the folds.
God. Again, yeah, the merch is getting too much. Even as somebody who doesn't buy any of it, I do think, okay, they're trying to generate more income. And I know they're trying to generate more income because they want to do more animation stuff. And it's like,
Yeah.
maybe we could focus that money towards something else. I don't know what else, but
writers.
We could.
More writers. Writers. Who said
They
that?
only have three writers, and I don't think they're gonna take any. Like,
get a new
when
one.
they when they put up posts for, or they're looking for artists or something, they literally have to write in bold, "We are not looking for voice actors or writers," because people will still submit that despite them looking for like a cleanup artist or something.
One of the writers should take a step down or a step back. So
But I
a
do
new
think
writer could help.
More cooks in the kitchen won't help. Like, they already have 3 writers. How many do you want?
I mean, Brandon hasn't written shit all this season.
I don't know for all this season. Maybe.
No, like actually nothing. Like he has one episode. I think it's in the Ghost episode, the next one. But like so far, he has no writing credits. Everyone, like him, Adam, and Vivian, of course, have story credits because they help make the story. But far as writing, it has no writing credits for this season.
Oof, yeah. Well, like I said, he wanted to focus on his own projects, so you can't really fault him for that because the show is half his, half Viv's. So now that he's gone, Viv is the full writer, and she's also writing for Hazbin Hotel. And it's like, woman, I love you, but please delegate.
Please. And that's kind of like the thing I kind of worry about when it comes to Viv. She kind of stretches herself too thin to having I don't want to say control freak, but like I feel I can relate to that, making sure things are going the way you want it. But like you have to give trust in your team that like they'll direct it and like take your vision and roll with it.
Again, it's given that Tumblr era of I have 11 different fics, I must write them all.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, we get it. You have a full show now. You love these characters so much, but a lot of producers, people, the creators of Steven Universe, Rebecca Sugar, I don't think she wrote every single episode. The same thing with My Little Pony.
Yep.
You have the general structure, but you give it to people and they write it out. I think that's the reason why Miraculous is such a dumpster fire, because the creator demands to write every episode and he cannot separate himself from Marinette for 5 minutes. Ergo, she must be everywhere. Like the few shows where I think there's this writer, I forgot their name. The seasons we like or the episodes we like is when he doesn't have an active role in them. And I think he kind of fired that writer or something.
Damn.
Season 2, where Chloe was gonna get a redemption arc that was being set up. All of a sudden, all that thing got scrapped because I think he realized, no, Chloe was never supposed to be redeemed or the good guy. She's a villain, because he's basing Chloe off a bully he had in high school or something. So when he came back in season 3 and 4, he completely made her do the most egregious things imaginable just to make sure the fandom hates her. And some people are still liking her out of spite. And I can respect that.
See, I think it's a good thing. Yeah, everyone thinks I might be I might be a little annoying with the Helluva Boss or has been stuff or even the Stolas hate. Y'all motherfuckers just be glad I'm not getting into Miraculous, because the last thing we need is another black woman on the internet screaming about Miraculous.
Oh my God. I have literally been turned to insanity by this show because that show tests you in ways you do not know. It could be such a masterpiece, but the creator just won't let go. That's why when I look at Helluva Boss, I'm like, at least Viv lets other people contribute. At least
Hmm.
Viv can allow her characters to be seen in a bad or negative light. Her only problem is a few niche things, but I would die if Blitz was given the Marinette treatment. I would actually uninstall everything.
I can only take so much at once. I can't. Anyway, everyone watch My Adventures with Superman. Go watch Archer. It's all on Netflix and Hulu. It's all
Oh,
good
wait, should I
shows.
continue that show? Because I stopped at the first half of season 1 for My Adventures with Superman.
Finish it! You finish it right now, damn it! You catch up on season 2, damn it! It's getting good. It's beautiful. I don't care what the comic bros say. They're stupid anyway. Comic bros don't know shit about their own fucking like lore within
Oh
comic books.
no.
It's a good show,
You're not
damn
the only one that's yelled at me about that. I think I told somebody else. I was like, I think it was around Christmas. I just fell
it.
off. Not really fell off. Let me see. I have episode 10. Did I stop at episode 10? I think the last episode I watched was when uh names.
Then you probably
Shit.
stopped at the finale then
No, I didn't stop
of
at the
season 1.
finale. Not Clark. Fuck, what's his love in Lois? I was gonna kill myself if I
Lois.
didn't remember her names. When Lois was taken to that whole place where she met other Loises, and there's this trickster who was.
Yes, Mr. Mixelplex.
That's the episode I stopped at.
Oh, that's a fun episode. But like, oh, girl, okay, you didn't finish that episode.
I finished it. I saw the ending, and they were like, "Oh, there's different Supermans and something about this Superman." And I'm not gonna lie, I think the reason why I stopped at that episode is because I hate multiverse stories. Marvel has ruined it for me. So I said, "Oh God, another multiverse story." So I said,
Fuck
"I'm gonna take a
yeah.
break," and I just never continued.
It was literally just that episode. That whole episode was just a quick multiversal thing, and then after that, they go back to business as usual. But like, fuck y'all, I love multiverses stories. I love seeing different incarnations of different
No, they're
characters and different what
fine.
if stories.
They're fine, but a lot of stories kind of mess them up. Like even Invincible is technically multiverse.
Yeah. Welcome to superheroes, baby. But okay, we're wrapping up here. Everyone give TVC some love on her channel. Thank you so much for joining me and having a civil debate, I say, as I have you in this headlock.
I appreciate it. Like, you're the only one who I can even be this comfortable with because I know a lot of people will be so offended by this conversation. How dare you not agree with me in everything
How
I espoused to be?
how dare you have a different of opinion? But it was fun. That's why I love talking with you. And guys, we are fine, okay? Yeah, like if you can't have this much of a heated debate with your friends, and like, dude,
Are you really friends?
are you even friends if you've not like called each other like names?